تعلم نفس ما أخفي لهم من قرة أعين جزاء بما كانوا يعملون. And no soul knows what Allah has prepared for them. The delights that Allah has kept in store, that are of the coolness of the eyes as a reward for that which they used to do. You think about what this is. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about Jannah. The Prophet ﷺ talks about Jannah. It has in it what no eye has seen, what no ear has heard, and your imagination has not even imagined. Allah takes to task those that reject for not using their hearing and their sight and their perception to come to Him. And Allah is saying, now you hear, now you see, now you feel. And Allah is saying about Jannah for you, by the way, you have no idea what's been in store for you. Your eyes have never perceived anything like it. Your ears have never heard anything. Wait until you see the beauty of Jannah and you feel the beauty of Jannah. And this is the transition from Jannah to the Yaqeen, from the paradise of certainty to the paradise of the hereafter. And Allah asks you in these verses, أَفَمَنْ كَانَ مُؤْمِنًا كَمَنْ كَانَ فَاسِقًا لَا يَسْتَوُونَ. And I'll end with this. Are the believer and the disbeliever to be treated the same? Is the wicked and the righteous to be treated the same? They're not equal. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala goes on to tell you, why would a person who worked in trying to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and do righteousness be treated on the day of judgment the way that an evil person be treated? It doesn't make sense rationally that a person who lived their lives in righteousness is raised up and resurrected, and can't we all just go to heaven? And is treated the same way as that. I'm going to be very real. I don't want to be in Jannah with a bunch of Israeli soldiers. No, that person who is killing children in Gaza doesn't deserve to be in the same place as that child that they killed. So Allah is answering the objection. Like, you think it's severe? Unless, of course, because Allah even says about Ashab al-Ukhdud, unless they make tawbah and come back to Allah. I've got to make that disclaimer. Alright? But like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, like, if you think this is severe, there is a reason why it's severe. Someone says, how can so-and-so go to hellfire? No one goes to hell unless they deserve to go to hell. That's the answer. You're not more just than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Did this person go to hell or did this person go to hell? Allah did not task you with that. I remember when Mother Teresa died, and that was like a discussion. I was like, look, on Yawm al-Qiyamah, Allah's not asking me about Mother Teresa. Let Mother Teresa worry about Mother Teresa. Right? And like this person and that person, and Kobe Bryant, and like, what's happening here and what's happening there? I'm worried about myself. And I'm trying to save as many people along the way that are alive. But that's with Allah. But will Allah punish someone who doesn't deserve to be punished? Absolutely not. The severity of His description is actually a manifestation of His mercy, because He loves you enough to tell you about it, to scare you from it, so that you don't do the deeds that earn it. It's also His rahmah. That's His mercy, that you tremble and you say, I don't want to end up like that, so that you don't do the deeds that make you end up like that. And instead, you cling to Allah in hope and in fear, and Allah Azza wa Jalla settles your fears and gives you everything that you hope for. That is the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so we comfort ourselves with what the Prophet ﷺ said after the Battle of Uhud. قَتْلَانَا فِي الْجَنَّةِ وَقَتْلَانَا فِي النَّارِ. We see what's happening in Gaza right now, and we see probably the greatest disparity of evil and righteousness in our entire lives. At least in my lifetime, I've never seen evil so obviously manifested, contrasted to righteousness so obviously manifested in the same episode of people. It's fascinating, right? The quality of those human beings. You look at those soldiers that commit those human rights abuses in jails, and wallahi, they look like shayateen. I hear hatabu jahannam, the fuel of hellfire, and I'm like, that's a face. And you look at those people, you look at Ruh al-Ruh, Khalid Namhan, walking around in Gaza, and you say, if that's not a person of Jannah, I don't know what a person of Jannah is. The disparity has never been made more obvious. But what about us? And I'm sorry, Khalid, by the way, I'm sorry to the loving crew, because I went way over my time, and I'm sorry to all of you for holding you back. But your brothers and sisters, when we say qatlana fil jannah wa qatlakum fil nar, our dead are in paradise, your dead are in the fire. We know where the shuhada are going. But where are we going? And so my only appeal to every single one of us is connect and put the meeting with your Lord in front of you. You know, if you got a really important job interview, you know that a meeting's coming up, you rehearsed that meeting already in your mind 1,000 times before it even happens. If I had the most important meeting of my life tomorrow on this earth, I'm spending the entire night imagining every single possibility of that conversation. What have you prepared for the meeting with your Lord, and how many times have you rehearsed that meeting with your Lord? When Allah Azza wa Jalla brings you in front of Him. Is it a reunion or is it a capture? Is it a reunion or a capture? May Allah Azza wa Jalla allow it to be a beautiful reunion. May Allah forgive us for all of our shortcomings. May Allah allow our hearts and our minds and our bodies to be in a perpetual state of submission. May Allah Azza wa Jalla allow us to live in sujood, to die in sujood, and to be raised up on the day of judgment in sujood. Allahumma ameen. Barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.